Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Now I have some huge updates on what's going on for today. Matter of fact, if you live in Florida, if you live in southern Georgia, southern Alabama, even portions of South Carolina, you need to pay attention to this forecast. If you're in Florida, I do advise you to go ahead and start putting up your storm windows already and be ahead of what's coming. Matter of fact, if you can get sandbags, there's going to be a lot of rainfall as well. If you can get sandbags, go get the sandbags now before it starts getting hit up, before the price gouging for materials starts happening, because y'all do have a tropical storm to a hurricane coming y'all way very shortly. Matter of fact, you can see this morning they have it all the way up straight to a 50% this morning, and it's going to grow even more. I expect this to form up within the next 2 to 4 days, and then from then on, going through all these warm waters in the Gulf, speed up, grow up, and really get strong in the Gulf of Mexico like everything does. Now, there is going to be some shear on this storm, matter of fact, that will keep it a little bit lopsided, will keep the impact somewhat east side loaded. I will show you all the information. Right now, you can see we do have this trough coming down, and this is what's shearing right now over Franklin. Now, as this weakens down, Franklin will move north and will turn into a hurricane and strengthen up as well. But also, this is an upper level low. This is just sitting here spinning counterclockwise, and it's pulling all this moisture to the north. This is what's going to form up. This is what's going to become your next tropical storm, potential hurricane that's going to be affecting y'all. Now, if you've never been here before, make sure you subscribe. I stay ahead of anybody you can think of in the tropics. That's the most important thing that I find very important. Matter of fact, last year and the year before, for years, I've been alerting people 2 weeks to a month in advance. I did it on Michael, I did it on Ian, I did it on 10 hurricanes and at least 5 tropical storms. Matter of fact, you can see here that I've been alerting 2 weeks on this formation coming into the Gulf now. And I do uploads every afternoon to give you an update on what the latest information is. And we do have a pretty exact location that is going to be really strong and form up right around here. So let me show you all the information that I have for you. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. I will be as quick as possible. I want to go real quick through your severe weather as well, because you also have tornadoes, hurricane force winds for today once again, and you have other things coming like your extreme heat still building, but you still have your cool down. If you've never been here before, always been showing these people about a month ago about this extreme heat that's coming in. Also starting tomorrow, it's going to start lowering down further and further to the south as we get this cool down coming in and getting away from this extreme heat. So guys, help me alert other people, let people know what is going on in the tropics, because it's really getting really dire and it's going to be really quick. That's why I do what I do. Even though National Hurricane Center does 7-day forecast now, still going straight to a 30 to 50% is not good enough. Giving somebody 2 to 4 days is not good enough, especially if you live week by week like most of us do. How are you going to prepare when you still got to get materials and you got to get them by this weekend? But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I do have a lot of information I want to go through you, so let me go as quick as I can. Now, this will be an invest soon. Right now, it's Disturbance 3. It will be Tropical Storm Hurricane Idalia, guys. Now, right now, they're telling you how it is a broad area of low pressure, but they are saying that it will be some gradual development of this system is possible into early next week, and a tropical depression could form while it moves slowly northward, entering the eastern Gulf of Mexico. And that's what we've been knowing about here on this channel. We've been knowing mostly it's been eastern, maybe some western if it gets blocked by the trough, but it's not getting blocked, guys. It is going to make it, and then the trough is going to pull it right up the coast. How far is still unclear. So far, it's still showing it's going to curve out by the Carolinas, but it's still days away from that part, so that part could change as well. Matter of fact, I expect by the time this video comes out that this is going to be up to 60% or greater, and you're going to see a red section right here. But you can see this whole pattern just like I showed you a long time ago, guys. As this big heat dome moves to the west, because it is going to move to the west, you're going to get this cool front coming down, and it is going to bring them better temperatures. It's still bringing some precipitation towards Texas as well, as you get this opening for a hurricane, tropical storm, a system to come on in and get pulled out. And you see how it does bat Franklin away as well. But you also can see that after this cool down, potentially we have this heat coming right back again. So here's the latest information. In 72 hours, chance for a tropical depression to form is at 85 to almost 90% chance, guys. As you go 4 or 5 days away, it's already going to be making its move towards the northeast side of the Gulf of Mexico. And as you go 6 days, already potentially going towards Florida. Look how it just curves right there around the southeast and keeps going right along the east coast. That is exactly what we've been seeing on this wave. Now this will update as it gets closer. It always does. But right now it's still showing in 5, 6, and 7 days away that you still have a 50% chance of getting a tropical storm. And that's already before this even formed, guys, as it moves to the east-northeast. And you do see how it does in the Gulf of Mexico. Everybody knows it will intensify. So when you look at the cyclone locations, you can see in 3 days, 72 hours, this is all the formations of green where it's going to go. And I've been telling y'all, if it's on the east side of Yucatan, it's going to head north. And you can see it is heading north according to the 5 days right there. And look at the grouping where most of them are agreeing where it's going to be in 5 days, guys. A strong tropical storm to a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. And as you keep going, you see right where they agree where they're going. It is already in tandem. Look at this. They are all agreeing almost, except for 2 or 3, that this will be exactly right here over the southeast, right over the bend of Florida, a hurricane. And look, what I see with the temperatures right along the edge of the coast, it will rapid intensify at the last minute, showing it will go right around the curve and still affect the Carolinas. Now from here on out, we're already at 7 days, so this part could change. So it can either go out to the Atlantic or go right up the coast. Now I'm going to show you what the models are trending and what they're agreeing with for this morning. I will update you this afternoon. If you've never been here before, there is a break coming after this. Everyone on my channel knows about it, and now you know about it as well. So if somebody tells you it's about to get ramping up and get worse and worse, that's not true. So as we look at the latest with the Euro, in 72 hours already having a surface low. Remember, the mean average in the sea is 1,013 millibars. Once it breaks 1,013, it becomes a surface low. And look where it forms and goes right into the Gulf of Mexico, right where it's showing with all those ensemble models, getting all the way down to a tropical storm, even getting down to a potential low-grade hurricane. Now this will change. This will update. What we see this morning is there is going to be some shear. I will show you. Going right over northern Florida, going out to the east from what we seen last night as well. Just hooking right on over. Now you can also see that there's no shear, and as it forms up and goes towards the coast of Florida, right there, you get this upper level low moving right next to it. Now it's getting a lot of shear because now you have an upper level low going counterclockwise. Now you have this surface low strengthening going counterclockwise. So as this is coming up from going counterclockwise, it is shearing this storm as it's coming down from going counterclockwise. So the west side of the system is going to be very weak. It's going to be getting a lot of shear. It's going to be lopsided. And so far, it's going to be hard to strengthen. This is according to the Euro. Once it becomes an invest, then we'll be able to see what's going on with the hurricane panels. Right now, you can't see nothing with them. This is only according to the Euro, and Euro is not a high-resolution model. And so far, that is bringing 40, 50, 60, even 70 miles per hour wind gusts, 40 and 50 across Florida. Still going to be east side loaded because it's getting shear, it's getting lopsided to the east. And the rest of y'all along the Carolinas and the southeast won't get the winds. You'll be getting the rainfall, but you won't be getting the winds because it'll be in the ocean. But it's still going to be shoving along the coast. So far, bringing the heaviest into Florida Keys, all along southern and southwestern Florida, all along the coast, all the way to the bend of Florida. Very heavy rainfall so far, and it will update, guys. And so far, it's not bringing a whole bunch towards the Carolinas, but it is bringing some to South Carolina and North Carolina. This is according to the Euro. And of course, Canadian as well sees it. Canadian has been forecasting this for a long time. Canadian takes it a little bit further to the south, a little bit further of a storm. Still shows that it will have that weakening effect, but it rides right down Florida from southern to northern. Then it goes out on that trough. But showing, since it has a lot of shear, keeping it somewhat weak, it is showing that it will be somewhere around 40 to 50 miles per hour wind gusts, according to the Canadian. And all the rainfall will be in Florida, especially western and southern Florida. Heavy amounts. Even the Icon model is showing it as well, guys, and it's taking it a little southern as well and going right across out to the east. And you can't see too much with the Icon. It's just a 5-day model, but the trend is further and further south down Florida is where this could happily bend and pull out instead of going all the way into the Gulf. Now that would give it less time to strengthen. For one, there is warmer waters over here. Matter of fact, if you remember Ian, it did rapid intensify at the last minute because all these warm waters that you do have right along the coast. But even on that forecast, you can see how it still brings heavier rainfall towards the Keys and towards southern Florida, all the way from central to southern. And everybody else just a little bit maybe inside the coast as you get some storms brewing by. But the rest of this is going in the Atlantic. And the icon don't have the wind gust swath, but you can see it is bringing anywhere from 40 to 50 miles per hour wind gusts. And we're talking about already on Monday, guys. So not only the main reason why I do these things, if this was already strengthening, which I know it's going to do, if it don't take this short path, it stays in the Gulf a little bit longer, this is going to strengthen. And these are going to be very stronger numbers, very dangerous numbers. And we're already talking about Monday potential impacts. That's what I'm telling you. If you have storm material, storm shelters, whatever you have for your windows, you need to put them up. You need to get prepared for this. Now, I would say mostly from central to southern, northern Florida, I'd wait until we get better information because this is all showing east side loaded, so you won't get the impacts. You definitely would need the sandbags. But you can see here from your deep ocean heat content, as it forms up in the Western Caribbean, as it does, it's upwelling, swirling around counterclockwise. It's not going to pull up cooler waters. It's going to pull up warmer waters as it goes towards the edge of Cuba, and then as it goes away towards Florida. It don't have a lot of deep ocean heat content right here, but this is where your sea surface temperatures are really warm. And you can see this here. So Harold has taken away a lot of the white out of the Gulf of Mexico from western all the way to central. But if you look right here, once it hits the edge of Cuba, all the way to where it gets out of that deep ocean heat content, then you have all this heat all the way from the edge of the Florida Keys all the way around to Louisiana. You still have all them strong sea surface temperatures that this storm will tap into. Plus, when you look at the agreement on all the ensembles, they all agree that this is going to group up right there on the edge of Cuba. So it is going to be into that deep ocean heat content. It's going to help it start strengthening up. Then when it gets out of that deep ocean heat content, look at the grouping. Staying right there for Tuesday as it goes towards the eastern quadrant of the Gulf of Mexico, right off the coast of Tampa. As you go into Wednesday, making landfall. So this is going to be Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe as early as Monday if it goes all the way further southern into Florida. So anytime from Monday to Wednesday is when we're going to be looking at landfall already from this thing. This is exactly why I do early warnings like I do. And you can even see on the GEPS that they are in somewhat of an agreement. It takes it a little bit further to the west, but it takes it right on Monday and Tuesday that they are agreeing a little bit further to the west in the Gulf of Mexico, a little bit more time to get stronger, and going right towards a bend of Florida, right where we see the Euro this morning. But if you've never been here before, when you look at your MJO, your Madden-Julian oscillation, where it'll let you know on the equator when we have favorable, unfavorable environment coming through our region. And our region is 120W West Coast, 60W East Coast, and right here by the Lesser Antilles. From there to zero is the MDR, the main development region. So you can see all the favorable environment that we are going through right now. Then we're going through a neutral phase with a little bit of favorable environment, still showing something could come in at the beginning of September, the very end of August, reaching into maybe the Lesser Antilles, the Eastern Caribbean. I'm still showing that. This is where I'm talking about. This is where you see all this unfavorable environment in our area all the way to September 10th. We will be on a break after we deal with this tropical wave. Then in the middle of September, we have more issues to deal with. And then, but once we go through October, it's going to pick right back up. Remember, hurricane season is all the way through November. Plus, quick update on your heat. Now, you do have all this heat advisories, which you can't see too good with all this orange in the back. But all this excessive heat right here and all this pink, this means your heat indices are going to be anywhere from 110 to 120 for today. And you do see how it climbs all the way up for today, how you get very strong heat indices. And remember, if I zoom in a little bit better, you can see even higher numbers. But this is a lot of strong heat indices. And over here in the south and the southeast, y'all going to be getting heat indices the longest as this starts from tomorrow, starts going lower and lower and lower. And you can see this on your heat indices for tomorrow. It goes a little bit lower, but just as strong as what you're dealing with for today. Matter of fact, I did hear on the news this morning that we have lost over 100 lives already due to this heat, guys. So please drink the water early. You must hydrate for today to be safe tomorrow. Plus, real quick update on your severe weather. You've never been here before. I do everything. So let me update you on this, because I did update this yesterday with some severe storms passing through yesterday. Michigan is still without power, 53,000. Ohio, 42,000. A lot of people without power from them storms that they had yesterday and this morning, and it's coming back again today for round 2. It's even going into Pennsylvania. So for today, you do have chances for hail. You have the 5% and you have the 15%. So far, it is your cities and states at risk for your chances for hail. And I see the hail was worse this morning for Ohio. Now today, you do have chances for winds. Even this black section right here, that's hurricane force winds, at least 75 miles per hour winds. That's your significant severe. Plus you had 5% and the 15%. So here's your cities and states at risk for your damage and winds for today. And your significant severe, your hurricane force winds, is the white line on top. You also have chances for tornadoes for today, and it has grown, guys. You have the big 2% and you have the big 5% in this region. So here's your cities and states at risk for tornadoes for today as well. And you can see this from National Weather Service. Scattered severe thunderstorms producing damage and winds, large hail, and perhaps some tornado risk are expected late this afternoon through tonight across parts of the southern Great Lakes region towards the central Appalachians. Some of the wind gusts could be significant, 75 miles per hour plus. Now you can see here on the latest on HRRR that the winds came through this morning. And then you have them coming through this afternoon, really forming up over Michigan, over Ohio. That is going towards eastern Ohio, western New York, going into Pennsylvania as well. You do have other storms, but this is where you have your tornado chance. So you have to be aware of these little storms that pop up right in front of this line. I will zoom in a little better for you in 1 second. And for tomorrow, it is going to carry again a little further to the south. So far, no chances for tornadoes with those. But you do see you also have some storms going across northeast and the New England states as well, while some low pop-up storms go through North Dakota, Minnesota, a little bit of Iowa. Looking at your holistic values, which shows you strong updrafts, you see right here that you do have good chances for hail that you had this morning. And as you go through this afternoon, they will pass through Michigan, just like you had that warning, coming from 6 p.m. all the way to 9 and maybe 10 o'clock as well. Coming through Michigan, chances for some hail, a little bit through North Dakota, also Canada. As it goes overnight into early morning hours through Pennsylvania, bringing y'all some chances for hail as well. Then you have for tomorrow, bringing more chances through West Virginia and Virginia, a little bit of Maryland. But the wind gusts coming through, you had wind gusts this morning, plus what comes through this evening. This is going to be starting at 9 o'clock, going all the way into the early morning hours for tomorrow on your damage and winds. Now you see that brown line right there? That's exactly what National Weather Service is talking about. That is at least 70 miles per hour wind gusts. So definitely some 60 and 70, maybe even some 80 coming across Michigan. Please be aware of these winds. This is a lot of damage and winds. A lot of this is going to be in Lake Erie, but a lot of this is going to be in Michigan and northeastern Ohio. And you do have some coming in for tomorrow as well as it goes over the East Coast. You have it over Virginia, a little bit of North Carolina, West Virginia, a little bit of eastern Kentucky. Those are showing 50 and 60 miles per hour as well. But so far, there's no chances for tornadoes for tomorrow. It will be a chances for some slight winds and no chances for hail. It's just going to be for those winds that I did show you. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for your severe weather for Friday. Well, them storms do look pretty strong for tonight, guys. So as you go through the evening and the storms start coming in, remember this is Central Time up here. So as it comes in, you can see they start brewing up around 7, 8 o'clock. You have some nasty chances for some hail right below Flint. Look at that. That is a big area. Chances for large hail, matter of fact. When you got that black in there, that is chances for large hail to move through around 9 o'clock for tonight. You also have it for eastern Ohio. As you keep going through, you see those storms coming on through, bringing a lot of chances for hail. Look at all that hail chances that's coming through Michigan, also Lake Erie, but definitely in Michigan, definitely coming through Detroit as well as you go through later tonight. And as you go into early morning hours, this is where it's going to hit eastern Ohio, hit Pennsylvania, and go into western New York as well. As that goes all the way to the coast for tomorrow morning. As it goes over Long Island, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, a little bit of Delaware and Maryland, swings all the way towards the coast for tomorrow. So there's going to be some nasty storms for the Northeast for tomorrow as well. I don't see the hail cores, but that is some nasty little storms that's coming for y'all. You see there's chances for some bowing out, maybe some winds in that. But I can't get over the hail that's coming through for today. Definitely be aware of that hail. Definitely by the time you go through 9 o'clock, all the way to the early morning hours, all the way to 1 o'clock, and it starts getting smaller, but still chances for hail. Now, before I go, I want to read to you 1 Peter chapter 1, 21 through 25. Who by him do believe in God, that raised him up from the dead, and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in God. Seeing ye have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren. See that ye love one another with a pure heart fervently, being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of God, which liveth and abideth forever. For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as a flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof withereth away. But the word of the Lord endureth forever. And this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you. Amen. Have a great day, everybody. God bless you and your families. Thank you so much for sharing this video, sharing this information with others. I do believe Florida does need to get prepared. I don't think we're overshooting the guns here at all. I believe within 2 to 4 days, something's going to be coming your way. And you don't want to be trying to put this up at the last minute or getting materials, especially with the price gouging that usually happens around that time anyway. Please help others. Please share this video to others. Thank you for helping another. God bless you. And remember, all glory always goes to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I pray He keeps every single one of you safe, you and your neighbors, every day and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. I'll see you this afternoon for the update. Make sure you click the bell.